today we have focused on three themes. How to motivate people, how to create higher quality in the productions you made in your filmmaking, community filmmaking, and how to distribute what you created in community filmmaking. And this day has really been about discovering this field and asking ourselves, what is community filmmaking all about? Elaborate on this.
Then we said that afterwards
we look for, as I said before, the key strategies, the important questions, the insights that people shared at these tables.
What can I get out of it? What's the benefit of, I don't know, making some movies? And that can be getting a new skill. He can feel that he's possible to make something valuable for other people that they buy, and he can even see his future job maybe based on this experience. Then we have quite a group of motivation factors that are connected with community, that maybe there are topics that people find important to talk about. Another thing is that through working with other people with similar interests or similar backgrounds, they can do it so they integrate within some community.
What is quality? Because what is quality to me as a coach is something else to the storytelling. Because if I'm gonna probably think that what they do is good because they never done this before, and I have an understanding for that. But as someone who's just starting with film, you're gonna think that quality is what you see in the media, what you hear on the radio, what you see on the TV, and I mean, of course, you're not gonna be able to be there at once. So we talked about that it's important to talk about what quality is and what kind of expectations you have. How do we make them feel like where I am right now is good enough, and that you don't have to, well, so the pressure isn't so big. I mean, we want them to learn that it's okay to make mistakes, but it's hard to learn them that, since it's not okay in the film industry. I mean, you make a really bad product, it's going to be even harder, if not impossible, to be able to get money to do another. We also talked about the relationship between the storyteller and the coach, that it's important to have a strong contract between them, and that takes time.
It's not about the cameras you have. It's about it's also about the furniture. How does it feel when you come into the organization? How, or when you meet the people? Is there someone listening to me, or do I just get a piece of paper in my hand and how do you create that DNA? And I think we all have an experience in creating an organization culture that makes people develop, and that is one question, how to create that.
Not all films should be distributed, and especially in community filmmaking, maybe it doesn't have to include distribution at all in some cases, because if it's a film that is more about creating communication between the participants in the workshop, or maybe inside of community, then there's not really any distribution to talk about apart from a screening in the group, maybe. And then the final general thought is that we maybe sometimes should not think about distribution while we're making the film, because it might also be an obstacle for your creativity. Some people have experience from showing things in local media, and trying to get local media coverage in general, also from local press, for instance, and then it can create interest from the bigger media that you otherwise need contacts to be able to enter. Use the film made in one workshop in your next workshop, both to show that to the new participants that maybe there are stories similar to the stories they want to tell to make them feel more comfortable. And also just to have the stories passed to another person.
This is like, by changing the distribution, you change the context of the film, and you actually change the film in that. So like, if you start with a film that is made for a community and you start doing it to get funding to solve the problem that they're doing, then you're actually changing the film. And then you start using it to promote your organization who has been making community filmmaking. You start promoting your own organization to get funding for that. Then you're actually using that film in a different context. And like, all of this creates the ethical problems that were discussed around this table, and that was extremely, extremely interesting. And I think all of us could feel like, ooh, we've all done it. And we haven't always communicated with, I mean, sometimes it would be way too easy to say like, yeah, when you did that African project, you go there and you're colonialist, blah, blah, you know, like it's not that easy, because we all do it in exactly the same way, whether we're in Fittja, in Östermalm, or in like, I think it's really, really a key issue to figure out.
A lot of work is not so difficult, it's just that you need to know what kind of festivals can you submit your works to? How can you set up a Vimeo page? How can you organize a screening? And this could be a nice part of a workshop to spend the last day on distribution.
What I take with me is the openness too, in how everybody here is so willing to share.
It's kind of easy to come on these sort of few days away and get inspired, and then you go back home, and several weeks or months in, it's a bit of a distant memory. So I want to kind of get it out of me into everybody I work with, and then there's much more chance of a lot more of these things reaching reality where I work. So that would kind of be my first step.
I think it's been really inspiring to sit down and brainstorm and come up with ideas, and like, it gives me a lot of energy and a lot of inspiration.
I will take the new ideas I've heard, like from your experiences, and hopefully I will keep in touch to get more into details of how you've been doing all these ideas.
Doing my graduation work, because I finished this year, and I was thinking or to make something like documentary about the place I come, like it's village Konone, where I live, not like I live, but where I come from, or I make a very stylish VJ set. So these two things. So I'm thinking to make something about the place I come from, and this is my community. So I think I decided to discover this because of this meeting. It's just been very nice to share like visions and to feel like things are possible, because recently I've been in this kind of going the other direction, going downhill, and I feel like it's been energizing to be here, and I really appreciate that.
Great feeling about that we confirmed that that we're not alone.
But my question is similar to Sabina's question, like how far can we take this? I see so much potential in this group and in all the projects we are doing.
Thank you for these 3 days.